Is the third round of the FIDE Grand Swiss 2025, and we have the world champion Domaraju Gukesh entering in. His opponent is Daniil Yuffa. Daniil is a Russian grandmaster who now represents Spain, and he's born in 1997, and he is now 28 years old. Quite a strong grandmaster, rated 2648, and he is on 1.5 out of 2, just like Gukesh. In the background you can see the legendary Boris Gelfand, who is going to play against Pragnananda. Gukesh started off the tournament with a fine win over Etienne Bacro, but in the second round he messed up a very good position against the young talent Yas Khan Erdogmus. And we have Anish Giri also walking around. The Grand Swiss is somehow so many great players coming together there. Anish and Boris speaking to each other. Gukesh adjusting his pieces. And it'll be interesting to see how this game pans out. Daniil Yuffa actually is also on 1.5 points. He beat Grandmaster Muradli Muhammad and drew with Mukhiddin Madaminov to score 1.5 out of 2. Getting ready for the encounter here. 100 minutes for both players for 40 moves, then 50 minutes for next 20 moves, and 15 minutes then to the finish. A handshake and off we go. What will Yuffa begin his game with? He starts with pawn to d4, and Gukesh now generally goes knight f6. He plays pawn to d5, and Daniil goes c4. The queen's gambit is on the board. Gukesh plays queen's gambit declined with e6. The knight comes out to f3, and the most common move now is knight to f6, which is what Gukesh plays. We see often the Catalan here with g3, but there's also knight to c3, and Yuffa plays knight to c3 in this position. And now Gukesh plays bishop b4 with the Ragozin on the board, and queen a4 check. Now Ragozin is a weapon that Gukesh has played before. He's played it at the Olympiad. It was something that he played very much until 2022, but then he didn't use it much. Now he's played it again. Main move is e3, but Daniil plays bishop g5, and this has been played before. However, it allows this sharp line with d takes c4. And now you need to be well prepared if you want to play this. He plays e4 just directly, now threatening maybe e5 could be interesting. Bishop comes to d7, and you have to be careful, because if you play e5, now there's knight d4 attacking here, and if you pick up the bishop, knight c2 check nets the queen. So need to be careful here as Yuffa. And he comes back queen to d1. And now the threat is to take this pawn on c4 when white would have a great position. So Gukesh protects the pawn. Now you can't take here because the knight is pinned. Daniil attacks the pawn with a4. And of course, trying to break this apart, a6, Gukesh keeps it together. Now this tension AB, rook a8 can be stressful, and e5 is played. Now whenever e5 is played, it's natural that black must go h6, so that you are trying to break the pin with g5 next if bishop h4. So Daniil takes on f6, and I'm a bit surprised with this decision, because Gukesh will chop off the bishop. H takes g5, and after f takes g7, the rook is attacked. Rook to g8. now trying to pick up the pawn on g7. He plays pawn to h4, maybe not the best move. The best move could have been h3 or g4. Black was already better, but now after h4, you get in the move g4, which is extremely strong. Yes, pushes the pawn to g4, and now where does the knight go? You don't want to be playing knight e5, as that would be traded. So he goes knight to g5, and on the surface this position looks dangerous because the h pawn is very strong. But if you look carefully, Gukesh is a pawn up, and he goes g3, because if you take queen g4, there was e5 attacking the queen and also the d4 pawn. So g3 and e5 nonetheless by Gukesh. If you take here, he wants to take with the knight. Bishop comes to g2. But now there is e takes d4. What is Daniil going to do for it? Gukesh is super focused. He takes the pawn on d4. And the natural question is, what do you do? Because bishop c6, the queen protects the pawn. He castles. He's giving up a piece. Gukesh thinks for 3 minutes and just takes it. And he's telling Daniil that actually you have no compensation. A takes b5 taken here. And of course there's c takes b2 possible, but Gukesh keeps it simple. He takes it back, and now there's pressure here. Rook e1 check is also possible. He goes rook e1, and Gukesh can, if he goes king f8, the problem is after takes, there's queen takes d7, but there's bishop e7, just dropping the bishop back. Rook takes on a8. And Gukesh takes back. Queen takes a8. Well, what compensation does Yuffa have here? He's actually not just a piece down, but he's also a pawn down in this position. A piece and pawn down. And a beautiful move by Gukesh, because now he defends the bishop here. And yeah, he's just piece up. Although it's clear that white has some compensation with the king in the center and threatening knight f6 check. But knight e5 comes in so that the knight can jump into d3. Also defending this bishop here. And queen comes up to d2. And now a very nice move, queen a6, controlling the 6th rank. So white plays queen to d5, attacking the pawn, or attacking the knight on e5. And you have to be slightly careful here. He goes pawn to f6. An important move here, defending the knight. h5 played, threatening h6. Bishop comes to e6, attacking the queen. And now Yuffa takes on f6. He takes back, bishop takes on f6, and rook takes e5, pinning here. And I love this move, rook e7, because now e5 is hanging, d5 is hanging, you can't protect both. So he takes on e6, you can take with the queen, but then you lose b5 pawn with a check. Not a big deal here, he takes it with the queen. And now Gukesh is a full rook up. Check. Just don't play your king to f7 because of bishop d5. But king f8 is a cool move. Bishop anyway comes to d5. And Gukesh goes queen f5. Queen c6 is played. King comes up to g7. And queen a8, threatening queen g8. Gukesh is not one to be afraid of ghosts here. He simply picks up the pawn on h5. And look at the time he has on the clock. He has 42 minutes still. Queen g8 check. King h6. Very confident battle here by Gukesh. Check. And now king g6. So that if check, he can drop back the bishop to g7. So bishop comes back to g7 and there is absolutely no checks. Black is an entire rook up, threatening check and mate here. And so Daniil resigns here. Gukesh scores his second win of the tournament. He moves on to 2.5 out of 3. And what a amazing win here for him. But Yuffa, of course, did not play the opening so well and then very quickly gave the advantage to Gukesh, who scored a very confident win. And in this video later, you can see what happens as Gukesh moves out, as Yuffa asks him to analyze, and they do analyze outside, and fans want to meet Gukesh. So all of this you can see in the subsequent video. For now, this is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye bye.
Он хочет обсудить партию.
You should have played bishop g5 first, yes? So after c4, I'm just yeah, like I realized when you took on c4 that okay, first of all I didn't check it. But later I don't know, okay, if I have to play queen d1, it means pawn in my position is already yeah, but maybe I could have checked it. Maybe I had some chance later, maybe bishop g2 was a bit too optimistic. Maybe I just should have played d5, knight d4 and just play this position, even if it's worse. Which one? After e5, I don't know. I don't know what was the most resistance. Because the line I played, okay, queen e3 I saw, and then I had many ideas in mind. Initially I was planning to play queen d5, but after queen c3, yeah, rook d1, knight d5, check, bishop d8, I play knight e4, for example, and you can even play knight f3, I guess.
But rook d1 and queen e4 bishop
you mean after queen c3, rook d1? Yeah. My knight is on g5, right? Yeah, that's also might work. Knight g4, you play queen d4.
Yeah, queen e5.
Yeah, everything is protected.
And also I thought the only chance was maybe when you played instead of g3, just queen g3.
Yes, I thought I didn't like, I think f6, queen h5, king d7, that was bothering. And knight g4, maybe you can just set queen h8 is a bit too much, maybe queen e8. For queen e8 I can take it.
I wanted to go.
I thought I have, okay, okay, obviously during the game I couldn't figure out whether I mixed up the opening or not, and I just kept on playing. And I thought g3 was, okay, of course it's too optimistic considering the fact that I just mixed up the opening.
But also e5 probably maybe like d5, knight d5, bishop g2 is not that like knight
yeah, knight d3 king f1. I wasn't a big fan of that. I just didn't want like my rook on h1 feels a bit slow.
Yeah.
Also after e5 I was considering, you know what, a takes b5. Yeah, you play, you can even take a takes b5, right?
Yeah.
Because if you take on d4, he takes c6, bishop c6, I have some bishop takes c4, which might be interesting in a way. Yeah, you can just take ab. Yeah, so you think queen g4 must be maybe the best chance,
I
right?
mean, it should be bad, so white.
Yeah, queen g4, it's
Like I wanted to go e5 actually.
you wanted to play e5, even after queen g4, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, after e5, play queen h5?
Queen h5 just 90. Queen h8 bishop.
You can bring the bishop. Okay. 94.
I thought you can go like e5, queen e4. And then I was thinking about if f5 then queen
F5,
e3.
queen e3.
Yeah. I'm not too sure. Like
Even queen d5 doesn't look so dumb, no?
queen d5, e5.
You can take this as a pawn, yeah. Yeah, so queen d5, f5, queen e3. You
Yeah,
can, but you can take knight d4, can you?
Yeah, long castle.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, it should be bad, but I didn't see how to finish it.
Knight d4, long castle. Okay, so it takes d4 is saying you have to play some, I don't know, queen e7 looks
Queen e7
strange.
might be fun.
Yeah, there is a present of.
But like,
Okay, maybe you should take the check then if you want nothing.
yeah.
It's not that boring. It's not that bad, yeah. Still probably playable.
But I wanted to also go like queen e4. Because f5 maybe just f6 or something. Like, you have to go knight f3.
But you just knew that this line is just that for white. Until which moment? I don't know if you ever
I
realized it.
mean, like, I think d takes c4, a3 might not be very bad.
A3.
Yeah.
I thought A4 is kind of smarter because I didn't want to allow some extra knight. Okay, some extra square for the knight. I thought A4 at once.
No, I mean, like, d takes c4.
D takes C4, A3, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it's still like good.
Okay. DC4, yeah. A3, bishop takes C3.
bc3, queen d5.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like with C2 G6, you can just pawn down. Okay, just instead of. Because I wanted to play bishop G5 and then queen
Yeah.
D4, and I thought there is no difference. Okay. Alright.
Thank you very much. Bro?
Tak mám, tady neopomený
Pauze.
Ne, máme rásem někým rosa.
Aldık ki amına.
Rásem operasa.
One photo.
No, see? Thank you. Can you make a move? Complex.
Only just the one move. Random move. Yeah, you want to talk to him?
We'll talk.
Yeah.
No, I was actually not worried about GP, I was worried about perspective because
Now my LinkedIn is prestigious.
yeah, that's
But I don't have the silver.
because I made a huge thing, I think we're okay for now. Also taking photo with
You're so much. I believe you. Никак. Sorry.
Сева, ты что не сфоткал?
Я уже сфоткалась.
Когда?
Первый день. Когда там? Я